going on, guys? Here with another video. This day with a cyberpunk2077 update. Giving you some information in regards to the multiplayer and the leveling system. Basically, we're going to discuss the multiplayer that might be coming up, and then the progression in terms of XP and so forth. So from what I've heard, there's been two different types of XP that's going to be in the game. There's going to be one XP that you earn through completing main missions, which is going to be called the core XP, and then there's going to be some side missions for what we call the street cred or street credits, which is going to be the XP for when you're doing side missions. So if you're a player like me, when you have the option to choose main missions and side missions, I normally personally like to obliterate all side missions before going to do the main missions. So this is pretty interesting in terms of how the two different XP are going to increase. I wonder if you increase all your street cred but not your core XP, you know, how is it going to relate to that and so forth, or does your core XP, you know, increase with your street cred additionally on top of doing the side missions specifically, or is it just street cred, side missions only, main missions, XP core specifically, and then the two don't intertwine or interrelate? So I wonder how that's going to be implemented. Because a person like myself is going to do all the side missions before hopping into any main missions, or I may do only one or two main missions before, you know, obliterating the rest of the side missions. So I wonder how that's going to relate to between the two. So basically, the XP from the street cred can be used to access new vendors and fixers who are a type of quest givers in the game. So basically, with the street cred, the more you work on the streets, the more assignments you do or the contracts that you complete as a mercenary, basically your name increases and your notoriety increases. So basically, it both works for potential employers or enterprises or gangs specifically. So depending on if you're doing contracts for gangs, you're going to get notoriety for, you know, whatever you do with the gangs and stuff that you do that with, and if you're doing it for employers, you're going to get notoriety for that specifically. So it's all going to relate to what type of missions you do and how you complete them and who you're completing them for. So basically, the more cred that you earn on the street, the bigger contracts you get or that you can gain access to. And also depending on the street cred that you earn, some factions might come to you directly versus you searching out for them. So some of the contracts can get pretty large. When asked one of the developers if you can unlock the best items in the gear of the game by doing these, he responded most likely. So building up your street cred as a mercenary is going to have some negatives. Once your name gets bigger, of course, the more danger you're in based on your reputation being so large. So if you do have a large reputation and you're kind of like a stealth player, this might not be the best depending on the contracts that you do and how you do them. Because the more notoriety you are, the more recognizable you're going to be on the streets. So this is going to have some type of downside because the more recognizable you are, this actually might deter you from some missions because some people are going to play it stealthy and they're not going to want to be recognized while they're walking around and so forth. They're going to want to stay, you know, incognito and so forth. So that's pretty cool, and it's interesting to see how the two different progression systems are going to work and if they're going to intertwine at all. So also they're coming out with multiplayer for Cyberpunk 2077. It's not going to be initially released. It's going to be released after the single player game. I would imagine 6 to 9 months, if not 9 months to a year, probably after release. No real details on how that's going to be handled. There's going to probably be some monetization as investors at CD Projekt Red probably are going to want to make some type of money off the game beyond the initial release of the single player. So, you know, there has been rumors in terms of like a battle royale style or something like that specifically. Personally, if you're able to do like co-op missions, or if they do come out with multiplayer, I hope it is some type of co-op missions where you can do contracts and stuff like that with your friends, along with a battle royale or a PV versus PvP. If it's just PvP battle royale, I'm probably not going to be too much into it, but if it's a little mix of the both, then I probably would be into it, especially if you get to do stuff with your friends online or whatever, and do contracts and assignments and gain street cred, so that'll be dope. In terms of monetization, if it's free to play, I'm cool with it, with any type of character monetization or guns or anything like that initially, or if it isn't free to play, then I'm only cool with monetizations on the cosmetics specifically. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the multiplayer, hoping they have some type of co-op missions and contracts that you can do along with the PvP. Hope the PvP is dope. Hopefully it's not buggy or anything like that, but I doubt CD Projekt Red is going to fuck it up like these other companies have done over the 2019 calendar year. This year has been a terrible year for video games in general. It's just been a sad state of affairs for video games. It's only been like a few good video games that came out this year. I want to say Spider-Man, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is pretty dope. I'm not even really a Call of Duty fan. I only had Black Ops 3 before this. What other game? Division 2 was okay for a little bit, and then the honeymoon period ended and it got very boring. But Star Wars, the last for Fallen Jedi or what have you, was definitely dope. That game was nice. It was a little too short, but there's been only about 4 quality games that came out this past year, and it's just ridiculous. So let's hope to a better 2020. I definitely think Cyberpunk is probably going to be the last great game. Probably the Marvel's Avengers might be okay. But those are pretty the only 2 games that are going to come out that are worth probably buying before the next gen comes out. So we're looking forward to the PS5 definitely. So we'll get more updates on that here coming up pretty soon. But so far as Cyberpunk is the only thing that's leading the hype train in terms of anticipation for games right now. So comment on what you guys think below, and you guys have a good holiday.